Hey, this is a momentous day, everyone. We are joined by our executive team. We are joined by our CEO and founder. We're joined by the man that has impacted millions, millions of people's lives, and he's been doing it for probably longer than most of us have been born for. So today is a really special day. We know that some of you are already had good or have already had goodness spread to you through Engage, through a family and friend. But we also know some of you are taking a look, and so we want to welcome everybody here. My name's John Barton. I'm the VP of Sales, and I get to introduce up a gentleman by the name of Dave Nemelka. He's somebody that very few people in our lives will meet like this. And I put myself into maybe his shoes where he could have easily just sailed off to any fancy island, any dream island that you and I have ever heard about, because this man was a massive success in venture capitalism. This is a gentleman who had a huge success in entrepreneurialism. He has degrees upon degrees from business schools like Wharton, and the list goes on and on. And he is not like many people. And what I mean by that is he had success by every stretch of the imagination. And instead of retiring on that island, he chose to roll up his sleeves and to partner with a gentleman that shares just as much passion about spreading goodness. This way, we could bring this product that is the most scientifically validated product in the world in terms of wellness and nutrition, a product that the U.S. military invested and U.S. government and private donors invested over $20 million into the creation. So I get to welcome up the gentleman that partnered with Dr. Prasad to bring this life-giving product to the market, and the rest is history. We're in every state in the United States. People are experiencing goodness through our products. We're spreading through great people like yourselves internationally, not officially yet, but people find a way when they hear about the life-changing benefits of these products. So we have folks throughout North America that are using these products, amongst others that are sending it across the country. So none of this would be possible if it wasn't for our CEO and founder, Mr. Dave Nemelka. Dave, are you on?
I'm here, John. What an exciting day. Oh my goodness. Today's like a day that we get to birth a baby. I'm a father of five, and I think of the joy that we had when our children came into this earth. And Dr. Prasad, you and I at Engage, we've had the great pleasure and joy of, I had the joy of adopting a baby, which was Micro Daily, but since we adopted Micro Daily, you and I have partnered and we've launched some pretty amazing products that have had dramatic impact on people's health and wellness, brought a lot of happiness, joy, good health, and goodness to this world. And so today is another one of those birthdays. Are you ready, Dr.
Yeah, a new baby.
We have a new baby to introduce to the world. Health and wellness is a challenging space with a lot of opportunities, unfortunately. And as Dr. Prasad and I have been talking over the years, we see an area where people have struggled, and we've identified that area. And I would say, Dr. Prasad, we've worked for about at least a year together to get this really special product ready for launch today. So are you ready?
I'm ready. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to, let me get set up. I'm going to share the screen, and we're going to get started. So John, you set the table for Dr. Prasad and I.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. All right. So you're going to hear what this big announcement in just a moment is. But I want to just share a little bit about Dr. Prasad. And I know Dave, he can go on and on, so he'll add to it. But this is a gentleman that has over 250 peer-reviewed articles. He's a gentleman that has written numerous books. And like I shared earlier, the U.S. government chose him amongst anybody they can choose to focus on research and development of our original product. And then through his ongoing research, he's found that there's other nutrients and products that we were bringing to market. So we have the world's foremost radiation biologist, Dr. Prasad, and our Dave Namelka. Take it away.
Okay. Well, so today, as we said, we're going to birth the baby. We have a new product launch. It's going to be based on science. It's proprietary. And as usual, it's a one-of-a-kind formulation. We're not in the Me Too business. If there's something that's really good and great on the market, we're not looking to challenge that. We acknowledge greatness, but we see an area and opportunity that is not being serviced very well. And Dr. Prasad, you've done it again. Human health, and as a little teaser, sleep will be forever changed for the better. So let's get this started. Let's see here. Maybe, there we go. Okay, so the challenge is that many people, tens of millions of people, have difficulty falling asleep. It's known as insomnia. Insomnia is basically waking up during the night, feeling tired upon waking up, not being able to get a good long night's sleep, experiencing daytime fatigue or sleepiness. The lifestyle-related challenges to this is shift work or irregular work hours, disrupting sleep patterns, overuse and overstimulation with electronic devices, with our smartphones and TVs before bed. These affect our melatonin production at night, which leads to erratical sleep. High stress levels leading to restless sleep. I've been there. I'm sure many of you have also. Also, consumption of caffeine or alcohol close to bedtime, that can seriously disrupt our ability to sleep. There's also a lot of environmental challenges, noisy and disruptive sleep environment. A lot of people live in large, busy cities. Uncomfortable beds or pillows. I know typically when I'm on the road, I have a hard time finding a good pillow. And oftentimes I have a hard time finding a good bed. So when I'm traveling, sleep can be a little bit challenging. Room temperatures, either too hot or too cold, and just general discomfort. I don't know how you are, but sometimes I'm sleeping with half of my legs out of the blanket and half of my legs in the blanket. And so just like all of you, I've had my moments with struggle with sleep. And then my son is an example. He lives in Alaska, and the sunlight is almost 24 hours in the summer, and at night it's only 3 or 4 hours in the daytime. So disruption with the sun and the cycles of the seasons can affect our circadian rhythm. So literally there's tens and tens, if not hundreds of millions of people that are struggling with getting a good night's sleep. And I know one of the fundamental things that the health experts talk to us about is, to be healthy, we need good sleep. So we're going to bring some health and goodness your way with an answer. And the answer is, just like with micronutrients, our bodies are not getting sufficient micronutrients from our diets to have an optimally healthy body. And as a result, we suffer from a lot of health challenges. And we've talked a lot about those in the past. Well, the same as it relates to sleep. There's some nutrients and chemicals in our body that we need to get good sleep. And so sleep aids provide the body a gentle guidance it needs to find a healthy and natural sleep. And better sleep, as we all know, just means better days and better nights. As we like to say at Engage, a lot more goodness. So today we're going to introduce our new product, Sleep Boost. And here's a video to get you started.
Wake up to a brand new day with Sleep Boost. Our natural, scientifically based supplement ensures you wake up feeling energized and rejuvenated, ready to handle anything life throws at you. Packed with melatonin, tryptophan, holy basil, and ashwagandha, it's the natural solution to your sleepless nights. Are you ready to experience the benefits of Sleep Boost? Our unique blend is designed to help you fall asleep faster, sleep deeper and longer, and wake up feeling refreshed. With Sleep Boost, you're not just investing in a good night's sleep, but a more productive and stress-free tomorrow. Tired of counting sheep? Get the sleep you deserve. Try Sleep Boost now and wake up ready to conquer the day.
Okay, so there is a quick introduction to our new product, Sleep Boost. And the motto, the theme, the benefits are sleep well and live better and have more goodness. Sleep Boost is grounded in science. It's powered by natural ingredients that Dr. Prasad has researched and used his expertise to identify. It's packed with melatonin, tryptophan, holy basil, ashwagandha. It's the only product in the world on the market with this combination, and we're going to talk about what that means for you to get a natural solution to your sleep troubles. So I don't know about you, but I'm getting ready to be refreshed, and I have been refreshed, and I'm looking forward to you being refreshed with our new product. As I talked about the prevalence of sleep disorders in the USA, there's 50 to 70 million people suffering from sleep disorders. 1 in 3 adults do not get sufficient uninterrupted sleep. Overall, 32% of men and 33% of women, 32% of the population, 33% men, 32% women. And it's interesting to see how it breaks out in terms of the different ethnicities. Whites, 30%, African Americans, 43%, Hispanic, 32%, Asians, 30%, Native American, Alaska Natives, 38%. So sleep disorders is a major challenge in the country, and that means there's a major opportunity for us to bring health, wellness, and goodness to America and to the world. Now, as we talked about the consequences of sleep disorders, it impacts work, school, driving, social function, increases the risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease, kidney disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, stroke, obesity, and depression. Dr. Prasad, just give a little insights on that. Why, if we're not getting enough sleep, are our other health conditions exacerbated?
Yeah, because when you don't get a sleep, you are not producing enough melatonin or suppress the production of melatonin, and therefore you have a poor sleep. Light, like you mentioned, all these things which suppresses production of melatonin will interfere with your sleep. And also your lifestyle, if you are a smoker or if you have anxiety disorders or these kind of issue. Not only that, but it interferes. If you have poor sleep, interferes with the work, school, driving, social function, increased risk of chronic diseases because you are not getting a good sleep, and therefore you are not happy, such as heart disease, kidney disease, high blood pressure, diabetes, stroke, obesity, and depression. I mean, with all these risk factors, you'd think that you would like to have a good night's sleep. And as I said, that I've been trying for a few days, and my sleep has markedly improved. That's why I'm talking a little louder.
I like it. I like it. Well, Dr. Prasad, I know that sleep is the time that our body is processing a lot of our nutrients. It's a time when our body's energy is spent on healing. And so if we're not getting sleep, all of those functions are less effective in our bodies. Is that correct?
Is that correct? But also for brain function, they did not mention here, but brain function is very important. If you have a very good sleep, your brain function is rested and ready to think new ideas or whatever you are doing. But if you have poor sleep, this interfere also your brain function. That which will interfere with your work, with your writing, or whatever you are doing. And so this is very important to have a good night's sleep for everybody of all ages.
Okay, well, we're excited to continue to educate people about the science behind your new product, Sleep Boost. And as John said, we could take an hour just talking about your track record. We could spend a lot of time talking about the 32 books you've published. We could talk about you being invited by the Nobel Prize Committee to nominate a member to for the medical Nobel Prize. We could talk about you being president of the National Society for Cancer and Nutrition. We could talk about you teaching medical school for over 30 years. We could talk about the National Institute of Health giving you on average $1 million a year to do research. I can't tell you how many people I have talked to about that. And that's one of the more amazing accomplishments. They say just to get a grant from NIH is like an accomplishment. It's like a winning the grand prize, but you did it consistently over 30 years for the University of Colorado. I think of the hundreds, if not thousands of doctors that you've trained and educated in your biology classes, your radiation classes, your cancer classes, your nutrition classes. I can still remember we were on a call and one of your students popped up and said, I had a class from Dr. Prasad, and they were just effusively praising you as a professor. Once again, we could spend an hour talking about, we could talk about you walking the halls of Congress and going through, I think it was around 20 grilling sessions with the top scientists, challenging you in your science, and ultimately you winning out in the Department of Defense, choosing you and your product to be the product for our U.S. military after 6 years of research and 14 clinical studies and 9 months of safety testing, on and on and on. There is nobody in the world that is more capable and more knowledgeable and more appropriate to talk science, educate our audience, and help them catch the vision of how our sleep boost can change their lives. So Dr. Prasad, let's jump into some of the science. So why don't you talk about the rationale for the use of the different ingredients or for the use of Sleep Boost?
Yes, as you know, that first you have to know how the pineal gland, which is located in the brain, is responsible for making melatonin. So if you have any problem with the brain, then you cannot produce enough melatonin to put you to sleep. Melatonin is also produced by other organs. This is a new phenomenon because for a long time, people thought that it is produced only by pineal gland of the brain, but it's produced by other organs such as gastrointestinal tract, also by immune system. And it is very interesting that we all knew it, that bright light suppresses the secretion of the daily production of the melatonin. And if you know how much melatonin you produce every day before you go to sleep, daytime they don't produce it. In nighttime, it is 100 microgram per night they produce it. And that looks like if you are healthy, if you don't have any other issue, melatonin can work only if you are relatively relaxed, but you have all kind of a problem that you are facing, anxiety, depression, that effectiveness of melatonin is not as strong.
So Dr. Prasad, if I understand what you're saying here, is melatonin is a natural
Yes.
Compound, what would you call it? It's a natural chemical that your body produces?
Produces it, yeah, natural chemicals, yeah.
So it's a natural chemical your body produces, which stimulates your body's ability to fall asleep.
Yes.
Okay, and so there's many factors that affect our body's production of melatonin.
Yes.
Like about daylight, so light, anxiety and stress, depression, probably your diet. I'm sure diet affects melatonin.
Yeah, of course, if you have say, for example, increased oxidative stress and inflammation high in your body because you are not taking a good nutrition or a good macronutrient, that will affect the brain and indirectly affects your production of melatonin.
And so if you're having a hard time sleeping, it's a strong indicator. If you're consistently having a hard time sleeping, it's a strong indicator that your body's not producing enough melatonin. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay.
And for the reason that we discussed, they can. But melatonin also acts via receptors, like all chemicals in our body act through a receptor. So melatonin has a two receptor called MT1 and MT2. And they are present throughout the brain, not just in the pineal gland, but it's throughout the brain. This suggests that melatonin could have other function other than sleep.
Okay.
So to be healthy, to remain a healthy brain will require production of good amount of melatonin. So if melatonin is suppressed, it is possible your brain function will also get affected. Melatonin receptor also present in adipose tissue, coronary artery, alpha and beta cell of the pancreas. So if melatonin decrease in production by various other micronutrient deficiency or some other factor in your body that you have increased oxidative stress and inflammation, then melatonin can't work. And then if melatonin cannot work, then your other organs like coronary artery and they get damaged, alpha, beta of the pancreas. So if the pancreas gets damaged, you don't produce enough insulin, can lead to diabetes.
So if I understand right, what you're saying then is there's many places in our body, like the coronary arteries, our pancreas, even you say our testes. And
Yeah,
so if there's a receptor for melatonin and the body's not producing it enough, that means that that part of the body that's looking for melatonin is not getting it.
getting it exactly. And that means its function will decrease.
Okay, so the fact that a part of our body has a receptor for melatonin, and
Yes,
our body is not producing sufficient melatonin, that means
yes,
not only is our body going to struggle with sleep, but our body's going to
right.
struggle with other areas of our body, like our heart with the coronary, or our testes with our
Yes, yeah, exactly.
probably with our, yeah. So there's sleep and melatonin are critical for many functions, not just being healthy
That's
and
sleep, yeah, exactly.
very good. That's knowledge that only a doctor could teach us. So thank you, Dr. Prasad.
Thank you. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the functions that science has told us that melatonin does other than sleep. So let's talk about that.
For example, it regulates immune function. In other words, it improves your function of your immune system so you can fight infection, and act also as an antioxidant. It is a weak antioxidant, but it does some antioxidant activity. That means it is also participate in reducing oxidative stress and inflammation that our classical antioxidant compound and antioxidant enzyme does it. It also reduces blood pressure. That's very interesting. Increase bone cell proliferation and inhibits bone reabsorption, means your bone can remain very good shape. And if you have a low level of melatonin, then chances of getting osteoporosis or any that kind of disease increases. So it is so important also for the bone functions that nobody knew before. So
Okay,
it regulates, it improves immune function, act as an antioxidant, and also increase these are this system, bone cell proliferation, and inhibit bone reabsorption so that your mineral doesn't get lost, and so your bone remains healthy status. It prevents the degradation of bone.
that's an interesting benefit. So I know a lot of women in middle age and older age get brittle bones, and they're worried about their bones, and so their doctors are recommending calcium. But what you're saying is taking calcium may have limited effect if you don't have
Yes,
sufficient melatonin. So melatonin
exactly. If you
also helps with bone health.
is very, very important, because if you are calcium supplementing, it will do some good. But in case you're poor, not producing enough melatonin, then calcium would not work as effectively as if you are producing enough melatonin. These are, again, in our body, all these interaction occurs. And once we identify the interaction, and then we can develop a solution. And that's what we have done.
I know that's one of the things that your research, your science has been renowned for is you've perfected the ability to understand the combination of ingredients, meaning the interaction of these things. So this interaction of melatonin and the critical role it plays in so many other places other than sleep is something I know nobody's talking about. So
no, exactly.
You're really saying sleep boost can also, in essence, be a bone boost too.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Well, let's talk about, you've got some other ingredients and some other dynamics happening in the sleep boost. Let's talk about the importance of L-tryptophan in sleep.
Yeah, L-tryptophan again is a natural amino acid. Is our body produces it or we take from the diet. But increased amount of tryptophan. Tryptophan is also precursor for making serotonin. And serotonin is the molecule or chemicals that relaxes you, that reduces your depression and anxiety. This is very important. Serotonin has a very important function. So for sleep, so if you have a L-tryptophan, it will form serotonin, it will relaxes you, and then in combination with other ingredient we have, you fall asleep very sound and have a good quality. So again, interaction between these chemicals is very important. Now, suppose if you don't give a L-tryptophan, we won't get relaxed. And if we won't get relaxed, then melatonin may not be as effective in doing it, putting to sleep, because melatonin has a lot of function. Suppose for some reason your body is not producing enough melatonin. So here comes the serotonin can help melatonin because you are relaxed. So your body doesn't have to produce as much melatonin if you have also L-tryptophan.
Okay. So L-tryptophan acts similar to what CBD does in terms of helping to
Yes,
to-
exactly.
So L-tryptophan is a natural
Amino acid, yeah.
Yeah, it's an amino acid that can help us to feel more calm and help us the melatonin to work more effectively.
Yeah, so in combination with other ingredient, it is more, your sleep would be more quality sleep, deep sleep, and you will be happy.
Well, that's what you're famous for, is your understanding of combination of things. So melatonin with L-tryptophan. And let's talk about another one that you've added, which is the importance of tulsi or holy basil in sleep.
Yeah, it is very important. Holy basil, tulsi is, as you know, in India, this has been used for thousands of years. But it is very important to find out that it activates in our body system, as I have discussed earlier, that body not only has antioxidant defense system, but we have another defense system that people don't pay much attention to, is called endocannabinoid system. Is very, very important. And so tulsi directly activates endocannabinoid system, and just like CBD. So CBD also does it. So a combination of tulsi and, say, for example, if you have a CBD, you don't need a CBD then. Because if you have tulsi, it does the similar thing as CBD does in terms of activating the endocannabinoid receptor R1, R2, as you can mention it. And so in the absence of CBD, which also activate endocannabinoid system, you don't need a CBD for sleeping purpose, because tulsi does exactly same thing as CBD does in terms of activating your endocannabinoid system. And if it gets activated, then not only you have a more increase in serotonin level, more increased dopamine level, which is make you very happy. As you know, this is one of the major function, is that if you increase the dopamine in your neuron, then you become happy person.
Okay,
And
so the idea that you have and the way you formulated this is melatonin is what we need to sleep. You're adding ingredients that enhance the effectiveness of the melatonin.
That's correct. That's correct.
There's nobody in the world that's doing this, folks. There's nobody in the world that's doing this.
Yeah, this enhances.
Let's talk about the
Ashwagandha is also
ashwagandha in sleep. However you say that, Dr. Prasad.
Yeah, ashwagandha. Yeah, you are correct. Surprisingly, many
Okay.
people can't pronounce correctly, and it has been used again for thousands of years for sleeping, especially sleeping purpose in Ayurvedic medicine. It reduces chronic stress and plasma cortisol. Cortisol is a stress hormone. If you are releasing a lot of stress hormone, then it can become more anxiety, more depression. So ashwagandha, if you are suffering from chronic anxiety, depression, because your cortisol is being released, the stress, this is called a stress hormone, is being released at high level, it down-regulates it, it reduces it. So then again, in combination with other ingredient, it will be powerful sleeping. Again, increases the effectiveness of serotonin by different pathway.
So what you've done is you've created a product that provides the body what it needs to sleep, which is melatonin, because most people, especially we get older, are deficient in melatonin.
Yeah.
And then you've added other ingredients to work in combination that have, and I want everybody to see here at the bottom of this slide, there's references to medical literature. Dr. Prasad is not just off of, old ancient stories. These are scientifically validated ingredients.
Yes, exactly.
And so the science has showed that these other ingredients help calm the body. So you're calming the body, the mind, the spirit, and you're giving the body melatonin that it needs so that it can have more effective sleep.
Exactly. Because like you mentioned, that as you grow older, most of the older people have difficulty in sleeping because they have all kind of problem, facing them. And so these kind of things, and not only that, because they also produces a less melatonin because of the brain function also deteriorates as you grow older. And so these kind of things is very interesting that you will see. I would like to see, at least in my personal case, was very interesting. In fact, I have taken only for 3 days because I just got it from you. And
just made it.
I used to sleep nicely. I was taking a melatonin 3 milligram and CBD. And so for 3 days, I replaced melatonin, which I was taking separately. That sleeping one, which I said 3 milligram he has, and I already was taking 3 milligrams. So I said, no, I will try sleep. But I used to sleep before, combination of melatonin and CBD, but I never dream anything, Next morning, I must have brain, when you sleep, your brain dreams, no question about it. So for the first time last night, I had a dream. I said, middle of the night, sometime, in the morning when you are half asleep, you can dream.
Yeah.
But in a sound sleep, dreaming and remembering, because one of the problems is that you sometimes dream, but you forget next morning.
Yes.
But this time I remember vividly, even though I had a dream. So this could be one-time phenomena, but I think I was very happy that looks like it also affects the brain function, indirectly. And because the receptor is also placed in all over the brain. So I don't know. I'm just right now just speculating it. But that is my personal
we have testimonials, and we just got the product barely out. So people have got some stories for us. But dreaming is shows that you've gone into a deep sleep, Dr. Prasad. So obviously, the product,
and remember it.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, I want to talk about what makes Sleep Boost so special. And I think, Dr. Prasad, you've talked about the science. It's proprietary formulation. Nobody in the world has this formulation except for Engage.
Yes.
And as Dr. Prasad is built on his CQF, which is he's famous for. It's his right combination. That means put in the ingredients that are going to promote a healthy sleep, promote low stress and anxiety. He's scientifically used the right quantity, which is a precision blend of different ingredients that work together to support healthy sleep, and then the right form, and that is melatonin and other supporting ingredients. We know the science behind sleep is well established. It's a melatonin issue that people have as they get older, and Dr. Prasad is making sure we get melatonin and these other ingredients to support it. Now, the benefits of Sleep Boost, you've talked about, you're going to dream deeper, you're going to sleep faster, you're going to sleep better, you're going to sleep longer, you're going to feel refreshed when you wake up. It helps regulate the sleep-wake cycle. That's what you were just describing to us, Dr. Prasad. And then these other ingredients are going to help lower stress and anxiety, and they're going to promote more of a mental balance and just bring more goodness to the world that we want. Now, we're going to get into a few testimonials. But before we do, first of all, I want to just call out Helen. I mean, Helen has, it's wonderful. I don't want to be without it. If I get a good sleep, the day's a good day. She's all about having goodness in her life, as are we at Engage. I just want to mention, let's just talk for just a second, Dr. Prasad, and I'm going to take us off of the share. Let's talk for a second about CBD. So a lot of people use CBD for sleep. You talked about how you did melatonin and CBD. You feel like Sleep Boost with these other ingredients is going to be powerful and help most people, but let's say someone's taking Sleep Boost and it's just not getting them over the top. Would you recommend that they add CBD as a part of that if the Sleep Boost alone is?
Exactly, because as you saw that as the Tulsi basil Tulsi enhances the effect of CBD.
Okay.
So I think, if you have this thing, that CBD is a very powerful from many other reasons as well, not just for sleeping. It is also somebody has a hyperactivity, in many diseases, you see that, or even Alzheimer's late stage, you get abnormal behavior. So CBD is important from many other reasons, but for sleeping purpose, it is equally important because if they can enhance the effect of Tulsi, or Tulsi can affect the effect of CBD, both interact very nicely.
So what I hear you saying then is Sleep Boost could be sufficient for a good many of our audience.
Right,
But kind of the hard nuts to crack, the people are really struggling with their sleep,
right.
and people that are struggling with anxiety and extra
Yeah.
levels of stress, CBD and Sleep Boost in combination could be
Yes.
highly effective for them.
Exactly, exactly. Correct.
Okay, so I want everybody to know Sleep Boost. If you feel like you're a hard nut or you're feeling a little extra level of anxiety and stress, I think a CBD boost with a sleep boost is going to be a 1-2 knockout punch for you. So
Yeah, yeah. And also there are many health conditions, especially for the brain function, the CBD is extremely important.
well, John, I'm gonna call you out. I know that you've got some people who are real. So we've got Dr. Prasad's testimony.
Yeah.
Let's get some other real world people testimony. I know you've got a few people who you've talked to that just are raving about their experience. We had why don't you tell people how a few lucky special folks got some,
Yeah,
they got
absolutely.
sleep boost even before Dr. Prasad did. How
Huh.
did
Yeah,
that
I
happen?
got it.
That's right. That's right. With Engage, our pursuit is in science, in through the research, but we also want to make sure that there's real life people, you and I, Dr. Prasad, and those of you who are getting a chance to look through the chat over this last 20, 30 minutes, you've been hearing and reading stories of people saying, I'm using this, I'm using this. And we've had a beta group, a launch group, a test group, very hand-selected people, within our that have used our products, and some of these people have never used our products. So we want a wide range of people from different age groups using these products. You saw how my wife was using it. My wife is she's 22, and
She looks like she's 22, John.
She does look like she's 22, but she teaches birth education. Those classes sometimes don't get done till 9:30. We all know that looking at a screen can be a little bit challenging to wind down our brain. She then gets up at about 5:30 a.m. to go work out. So you can see she really needs to get deep, restful sleep. She's been wearing her Apple Watch just to track her results. She's noticing that an increase in sleep duration, but most importantly, an increase in what is called the core sleep and the deep sleep, and also less wake time. She was pretty regularly getting 36 minutes of wake time each
Wow.
night. Now she's kind of in that 7 to 12 range since using this product. We also have a couple other testimonies. So I want to just prep you, Bud and Jonathan, if you can get your cameras on and unmute yourself. While you're doing that, Bud and Jonathan, I'm going to read a story from a friend of Sadie's. So Sadie's with our customer service. She was able to reach out to a friend of hers, and this friend's boyfriend was using our product, and he sent me a text, and this is what he shared. He said, I have always had a hard time falling asleep and have had a tendency of oversleeping. So this gentleman's name is Teddy. After starting the sleep boost, I was able to fall asleep extremely fast and sleep through the night. I did not oversleep once while taking it, and I was able to wake up feeling rested and ready for my day. This past month, I have felt the most rested I have felt in years. I sincerely appreciate the opportunity to try this product. I can't wait for the sleep boost to be available to buy it. So that's from Teddy, and I believe he's somebody who's in his 20s. That was using this product. So you can see a wide range. We have Dr. Prasad, who again has this years and decades of wisdom, all the way to this gentleman in his 20s. Now, Bud or Jonathan, I'll say Jonathan, if you're available, are you able to unmute yourself and put yourself
Yes.
on? There you go. Perfect. I was wondering if you'd be able to share your story with us.
Yeah, sure. No problem. I have to tell you, John, the timing of your invitation to participate in this was, you could not have known that I was dealing with some real wackiness in my sleep cycle at the time. I would wake up sometime at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning and just couldn't go back to sleep. And by the time I go back to sleep, it's about the time that I'm supposed to be getting up. So you can just imagine the first 4 hours of the day being shot because I'm sorry, I slept from 6 to 10 just to try to get, some sleep. So when you sent that note about participating in this program, I just about jumped out my skin. Sure, I'd love to try it. And I'm pretty good with using CBD, but nothing was solving this problem. The first thing I noticed was I could go to sleep and I was still on that weird cycle where I'd wake up around 3 or 4 o'clock, but I would go right back to sleep the first week. Then the second or third week, in fact, last night, this morning, I woke up this morning and I said, oh man, don't tell me this is 4 o'clock again. And it was already like 7:30.
Oh, wow.
I
Wow.
slept through the night
College
completely.
days.
Did not wake up once. I was dead asleep. And like Dr. Prasad said, dreaming. It was the most restful sleep. And when I woke up, I was just ready to go. I wasn't groggy. So I will have to say, Dr. Prasad knocked this one completely out the park. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. And no, I did not know that was the season of life that you're in. So perfect timing.
Perfect.
Hey, you all might recognize that beautiful woman to the side of Jeff. Weren't you the lady who was on that
Yeah.
PowerPoint? So you yourself are having some good results with the products. Am I understanding that right, Helen?
Oh my gosh. It took us 3 days in the beginning to really have it saturate us or whatever. But then, oh my goodness. And we don't have to worry about, you do everything to make sure you get to sleep. But
Yeah.
this is purity. But what I've noticed is after listening to Dr. Prasad, and when he said about the CBD and this, I noticed that I only needed one. It was better because I take 2 CBD at night. So that makes sense why I would only need one.
Yeah.
But I wake up feeling refreshed. I don't feel groggy, and I've taken things to sleep before. And I did not have any of those side effects. So I was so excited.
Well, and also to learn more about the other receptors that are in our bodies that affect other aspects, other functions, other parts of this is just, that's what was truly amazing to me. And Dave pointed out that as Dr. Prasad presented the information. So
And none of the ingredient that we have any adverse reaction with any medication that you are taking it for any purpose.
Well, I know, Doctor, that everything you do, safety is your number one
Yes,
consideration.
that's
right?
safety. No, I just wanted to emphasize that these products, again, like others one, has no interaction.
Well, what a fun day. Holy, what do you like to say? Guacamole, John? I know you've got some phrases of.
That's a good one. You can go with that one. Yeah.
Holy
Holy
guacamole. Okay, what a great day. I know that from this day forward, myself, my family, my friends, the people I love are going to sleep better, which means that Engage is fulfilling its mission of bringing health and goodness to this world. I don't know about you. I was having a conversation today about what Engage means to me, and I don't know what Engage means to you, but let me just share with you what Engage means to me as we finish up this event. Engage means to me that I have an opportunity to have a deeper purpose in my life than just to make money. Engage means to me that I have an opportunity every day to wake up and puzzle. And the puzzle I get to work on is the puzzle of life, of bringing health and goodness to other people. I know that every day I can wake up and feel that my days are meaningful because we get the opportunity working with amazing people like Dr. Prasad and John and Robin and Taya and Sadie and Brenda and each and every one of you to share Dr. Prasad's unique and special products with this world. So what does it mean to me at Engage? It means to me that I am blessed, and I am blessed to have purpose. I am blessed to be able to fulfill a mission of bringing health and goodness to this world. And I am blessed to spend an evening with you and launch and birth a new Engage baby. Dr. Prasad, what does Engage mean to you on a day like today?
Well, as I said, just to spread the good news and so that people can, while they are aging, they can have good quality of life and happiness. So my mission is same like you mentioned it. And every morning I get up and do some research towards that goal and publish information for people to look at. And so it is important that as we grew, we developed the concept of how one can be most effective in affecting any kind of health issue. If there are too many variables, defects, you have to take all those defects at the same time. You have to correct not one at a time. And so that's why our core 4 plus 1 or 2 is there, because any health issue has a multifactorial defects. And you correct only one defect, that's what the current strategy is but this will be some good, but not optimal good. So I have taken the attitude to promote through publications that you have to address all the problems that health issues are having, particular health issues having. And so, I mean, at least 3 papers that I have published, I have promoted this idea. So I keep doing it. This is my goal, that how to improve the quality of life by attacking all the problems associated cell defects that you are having, not just one defect, all defects.
Well, Dr. Prasad, I consider myself a very fortunate man to have met you, to have been inspired by you, and to work with you and partner with you to bring these great products. And I want to let all of you who are customers today, who are affiliates today, who are prospective customers, affiliates today, I want to let you know that I consider myself blessed to be spending this time with you. And I look forward to you experiencing the benefits of these very special products. And so today we birth a new engaged baby called Sleep Boost. God bless you all. I wish you all a good sleep tonight and forevermore. Good night, everybody. We love you.
Good night.